the ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essink.
All the little kids with the N on their lips are going, Iowa sucks, Iowa sucks. Black and gold ain't as classy as red. We're going, Iowa sucks, 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 Iowa sucks. 6 or more common than this because Iowa sucks, Iowa sucks. Parents get lucky every 7 years because Iowa sucks, 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 Iowa sucks.
Oh. Well, welcome into the Fitness Fanatics. What a great way to start the show. It's been a long time coming. I mean, I'm still just speechless that Nebraska beat Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is the Fitness Fanatics, and we don't talk a lot of sports.
We always talk a little bit.
Well, we don't really talk a lot of sports because we've only had 3 shows. Well, we've only had 2 shows. After they won. Well, 3 after they won. I was going to say, I was thinking Northwestern, but that was the day that nobody showed up to the gym or to the studio, but they didn't win. So we try to be positive on this show, not negative. So that's why we don't talk a lot about Nebraska sports, but
Nebraska football,
but we can be positive because the curse was broken. And I want to give all the thanks to me for coming on early break on Friday to talk about sports and not about barrels, and it was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Yeah.
So I'm still in a great mood today.
So you're going to have to replicate everything you did this year in coming years.
I know. I was wondering how many people were reverse engineering their day, their week, their month, their year.
So I had to drive out to Gretna to go pick up my daughter from her cousin's house, and Nebraska scored 17 points while I was in the car on the way to get there.
Yeah.
And then I got there and they stalled out. And then I got back in the car and they scored another touchdown. And then I got home and things started going to hell. Mm-hmm. And I texted my brother, I'm like, look, I'm getting in the car. I don't know where I'm driving, but I'm getting in the car and I'm driving somewhere.
Yeah.
And they won. So
that's your game plan.
Right. Yeah. Now I will watch every Iowa game in the car.
I was downstairs. I was in our bedroom when the game started, and then I heard clapping, so I decided to come upstairs. It was literally 3 minutes into the game, and then something happened, and both Ben, our son, and Jeff were like, "Go back downstairs."
Yeah, they missed the field goal.
It was
sure, yeah.
They got a penalty. They got a penalty. They missed the field goal, and Ben and I are both just like, "You just go back downstairs." They started off great. You come up here, and it goes south.
I didn't go back downstairs.
So to kind of set,
I know.
Bold on your
I was
part.
gonna let it ride. Had to see.
Well, to set the scene in our house, we were
was
feeling
rough.
good, and we're used to Nebraska losing these games, right? I mean, like in the Wisconsin game, you watch. But I'll tell you, for me personally, I know all Husker fans don't feel like this, but for me personally, beating Iowa means a lot because I lived there for 38 years. I've been dealing with, and I'll tell you, my best friend, best man at my wedding is an Iowa fan.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my really good friends are Iowa fans. So I talk about, I mean, I know a lot about Iowa football. I watch almost all their games, typically to hopefully see them lose. But, you know, I know a lot about Iowa, and I live there. And every year on Facebook, memories come up, people just posting pictures of the Heroes Trophy. And like, I lived through this all year long. So as the game got tight, and especially after Ramir fumbled, I was getting some serious doubts. Like this cannot be happening.
Flashbacks, right?
Just,
I mean, the PTSD setting in.
It was setting in hard too, because I was excited throughout the whole game, and then Nicole's like, "Oh, I don't want to."
I was tempering my enthusiasm. Like I wasn't even cautiously optimistic. I was realistically pessimistic.
You've opened your heart too many times.
Yeah. So I was. But it flipped quickly though. Towards the end, it flipped where you started getting pessimistic, and I was trying to be I always have to balance you. So if you're having an extreme reaction to anything, I always have to be the opposite. That's why we work. And so then I had to be the opposite. Once you started getting negative, then I had to start being positive.
And we have our kids.
And then we were annoying. Ben was getting annoyed with me, and it wouldn't matter what I was doing.
It was getting tense. And you know, for our son too. I mean, he's 16, right? He doesn't remember Nebraska ever beating Iowa, and he has a lot of friends that live in Iowa.
Yeah,
still that he talks to.
He lived there for 13 years.
Two of his best friends were at the game. They were at the Iowa game, sending him Snapchats.
We saw him. They were in the end zone, so we saw his friends on TV.
So he has, he has a lot at stake also. That's and I felt more happy for him, that finally he can have some bragging rights for a year. Because when I was his age, heck, we never even lost the game for 2 years. I mean, when I went to high school, I graduated in 96. So
we didn't play Iowa either.
Didn't play Iowa, but Nebraska did not lose a game my junior and senior year in high school. And by the end of my senior year, you saw Nebraska starter jackets, and people were starting to get bandwagon fans. But before that, there was 3 of us at Waukee, that's where I went to school, that were Nebraska fans. But by the end of my senior year, you were seeing the starter jackets were big back then, and the pullover starter jackets.
I don't know. Mark might have missed that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I definitely had a starter jacket.
Okay.
The half zip starter jacket. Yeah. Big Velcro pocket.
Yeah, I had the Charlotte Hornets one.
My brother had the Hornets one. Those are the 2 best starter jackets.
Yeah, I know.
Charlotte Hornets, yep. So it was just, it was good for him that he can kind of, know what it feels like to have the upper hand for once. Me, as an adult, yes. And I'll tell you what.
It's more just because it takes the heat off of you for some time.
Just to have a year of just, we haven't ended the season on a win.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
For 7 years. So the whole offseason, even when we went to a bowl game in 2016, we lost. So we haven't ended a season on a win since 2014. Oh no, we lost that bowl game to USC. So now we're going, it's probably been 10 years. Then maybe 2013, I think we beat Georgia to that bowl game. But so it's been a long time since we've been able to go into an off season, and we're already the off season national champions already. So we have that claim where we always win the off season championship, but now we've won, and we get to go into all the hype of a new coach and all that stuff. So it was. I gave Nicole a hug after the game.
It got weird.
Yeah.
I'm not a hugger.
It was just I don't know, 7 and
no.
A couple years.
It was a hug for you. I don't like needing hugs. I don't mind giving people hugs when they need hugs.
I needed a hug.
Right.
And I can't even comprehend what I can't even comprehend what it would have been like if we would have lost that game.
Oof.
And given up the biggest comeback in the history of the Iowa football program.
Yeah.
And it was close.
It was close.
And we tried to do everything we could at the end to give it to them, dropping 2 interceptions, fumbling. But they got it done.
What was going through your head on that official review there on that 4th down pass that we as viewers didn't get to see?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
The camera didn't know what was happening either.
When it comes to reviews, I'm always kind of if the announcers and then the head of officiating, kind of whatever they say, I'm cool with.
Yeah, as long as
Like-
there's a consensus.
Right.
Yeah.
And what they were saying was it was really close, but it looked like the ball came out. And obviously I was like,
It's out.
it's out. It's
Right.
but you know what? I don't really care because
Yeah.
we've gotten all the revert calls. I mean, how many times have we
Disconcerting
just
signals.
yeah,
And
how many times have we been penalized? And I mean, so I don't really care. And I don't care
that's the game.
I don't care that their best defensive player got hurt on the first series.
We
I
have had
don't
so
care.
many injuries to
I
even
just
overcome.
don't care.
No.
I don't care what the excuse is. We got the win, and it feels good, and it feels good today.
My favorite is your friend Matt, your best friend, who's been texting you every single day at 5:30 in the morning. His grand response was WWJD.
Yep. Okay. So my best friend, yes, he's been giving me a hard time for 7 years.
Literally
for
the
this.
worst.
So WWJD is
What
would Jesus do?
Right.
So finally, as soon as I have the opportunity,
Look, show some grace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
to rub it in a little bit,
Like have a little class.
that's what I
man.
get. Hashtag WWJD.
Think before you text.
So it was funny, but no, it was
That
good.
was funny.
It was fun. It made for a great weekend. At Farrell's we've been doing our Black Friday sale, and we have 75 people that have signed up
Jeez.
Yeah.
for the
Exciting.
next 10-week challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's more than a month
Exciting.
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
January 7th is when
Exciting.
the winter challenge starts. 50 of those people are signed up to come to our new location on
Mhm.
North 70th and Vine. We're going to be meeting with them on Tuesday, and hopefully we'll have a start date here in the middle of December. I'm not really sure yet, but we will definitely be open.
A move date.
Yeah, we'll definitely be open in Meadow Lane for the January challenge. So
Yeah.
that's going to be done. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be moving out of Pioneers, moving into Meadow Lane. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed out on the Black Friday deal. We were doing $199 for the 10-week challenge. It's normally $449. If you text the show 402-464-5685 and you want to be a part of that, we can get you the enrollment info and the promo code. Or if you're listening to this anytime during the week, you can just shoot me a text or go to fxblincoln.com. Tell that you heard us on the ticket, and we will extend that deal to you. I'd really like to get to 100. So I might even keep that 199 going until we get to 100 enrollments.
Mhm.
So the most enrollments that we've ever had in Lincoln, Nebraska, and the most that any session ever has had in Lincoln, I think, is like 118. That was in January of 2019.
I thought it was 133.
133 is our personal record
Okay.
in Altoona.
Oh, okay.
So 133 is the most 10-week enrollments we've ever had
Okay.
as owners. 118 is the most 10-week enrollments that the Lincoln gyms have had, and we're at 75 already, and we have 6 weeks yet before the 10-week challenge starts.
Tantalizing.
You're going to crush that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so like I said, you can text the show here today, or if you're listening later, you can go to fxblincoln.com. But we'll probably keep that going until we get to 100, and then we'll have a little price increase. So, but today coming up on the show, we have Mark in.
There is a question real fast off
yes,
the text line
yes.
from the milkman.
Milkman.
He says, you say you're moving.
Mhm.
Does that mean you're closing the South Place?
Okay.
Depends on
South
which.
Place.
Yeah.
So we do have 2 locations now. So the one is on South 40th and Yankee Hill.
That's technically will be the south location.
Yes, that'll be our south location.
And that one's staying open.
That one's
Yes.
staying. Yes. So the one on Pioneers is moving to North 70th and Vine.
Yeah.
So
About 4 miles down
yes,
the road.
instead of having 2 south gyms like it's been for 12 years, we will now officially have a south gym and a north gym. So,
Yankee Ridge and Meadow Lane.
Yep.
Instead of Yankee Ridge and Pioneers.
Yes. So the Meadow Lane gym is like about 3.5 miles away from
North.
north of Pioneers.
Mhm.
So we'll have a
Yes.
south, we'll have a north gym as well. So that answers your question.
Mhm.
So as you can see, Mark is in with us today, which he kind of abandoned us. When was it? About August?
Well, for football
Right
season.
before football season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got as much out of us as he could with these one-on-ones.
Yeah, really wrung you dry.
Thought he could just take it on his own now.
I don't know. I
And
don't know if you've been able to handle it.
So he's back in. Harrison's
Yeah.
actually at home for Thanksgiving for this weekend. So coming up here in about 10 minutes, Mark's mom, Peggy Onwiler, is going to be joining us in studio. She's been doing the 10-week challenge since July is when she started in the summer. So we're going to talk about her experiences, kind of what she's seen, the changes she's seen in Mark, which we will kind of talk about right now in this first segment. So
Sure.
Mark started the 10-week challenge in April of 2022, and he just did kind of over his 10-week challenge, he lost about 36 pounds, decided to enroll for the national challenge, which the national challenge is basically the best transformation in 1 year. So your 1 year starts at the end of your 10 weeks, which was in June, at the end of June 18th, 16th, somewhere around there. So
it's technically 1 year and 10 weeks.
Yeah, 1 year and 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So Mark has his 1 year challenge doesn't end for another 7 months until he's technically done.
Yeah, Father's Day, I believe.
Father's Day
Yeah,
weekend.
Father's Day weekend.
Okay, so we did a body composition on Wednesday or Thursday. I think Thursday he did one. So before Thanksgiving meals and stuff,
which was important, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a normal day. You don't want to test yourself right after that. No.
So for Mark's result so far, and one of the reasons he wanted to do this was of the accountability. Because he was hosting our show with us. It's kind of how it all started. And, for the 10 weeks, I don't know if he thought necessarily this was going to go so well that he'd be doing a year challenge.
Well, what did you think?
What were your expectations?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I when I was done with the 10 weeks and leading up to that, there was a lot of uncertainty. Like, okay, what now? Do I try and go do it by myself? Do I stick with this that's working? And I thought either way, you use that word accountability, and I realized that's what I need. One way or another, I need something holding me accountable, and that's where the national challenge really fit in for me. Was you have these 10-week check-ins for the next year, something to shoot for, and people who will be disappointed if I don't do what I need to do. And for me, that was important to creating the habits overall, and that's obviously the end goal.
Nobody sets up an expectation that we will be disappointed if you
no, tell me
do
you
it.
will, please. Like I need that. Like Mark, if you don't do this, look.
That sounds like a you problem. I just
That's
want
fine.
to set it
That's
out there
fine.
that
That's
is not.
fine.
We
But
don't,
allow it to be a me problem by continuing to perpetuate
I
it
just
for
want to
me.
let our listeners know that we
Look,
don't stand in front.
if I took a week off from the gym, the look you would give me,
That's true.
right? You would be disappointed.
In the short term, but not in the long term. And you make it sound like we're just like, we will be so disappointed in all of you if you do
not even mad.
do well.
I'm just disappointed.
Right. So I'm just
I
saying.
Think from you, Nicole, in particular, that would be the case.
Maybe that should be our
Jeff
new
might be
strategy.
No,
Right?
because not everybody has the same mindset.
Right. I mean, and that is what
But it's
about.
important that you knew yourself.
Right.
I just want to say for everyone listening, that is not the expectation we set, but we will be disappointed if you don't,
Right.
succeed.
And mindset is where it's
But
at.
now that I know,
It
shaming
works.
will begin.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you were talking about mindset, right? So, and the last time when we came in here before the fall challenge started, we were talking about Mark's results, and I wanted the listeners to know that, like, just because you sign up to go to a gym or you sign up for the 10-week challenge
Or anything.
or anything doesn't mean you're going to have results, right? I mean, Mark could have been like, "Hey, I'm going to do this 10-week challenge." And yes, he's going to be on with us every week, But at some point, if he wasn't mentally ready to do this, he wouldn't be doing as well as he's doing.
Right. You could have found an excuse. You could have found excuses to say why you didn't do well.
For sure.
That's how we all are.
Oh, I can come up with lots of those.
Yeah. So we all can. So I think that's important too, because that happens a lot, and it happens a lot at the beginning of the year for people. And I don't think we were going to talk about this last week, but I don't think we did, about how you can't just sign up for Farrell's or whatever, anything. You can't just say, okay, on this day I'm going to start doing this, and not actually change anything. You can't be the same person. Like there has to be a point where you're changing your habits, you're changing things that you do to get that result, because you had to make changes, and I think you in particular, you're making it look really, really easy, for everybody.
It's
like
not.
I know
for what it's worth.
that's what
It's
I mean.
not.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's like you're making it look so easy, but I want people to understand that you made that decision to make changes, and that's sometimes when people don't finish the program, or if you're that type of person that's tried a million things. Jeff, before we started Farrell, so how old were you? Late 20s
For what?
when you started Farrell's, or 30? How old were you?
Oh, the second time?
Yeah, whenever.
I was
like
30.
for real.
30.
Okay. So probably for a good, 10 years, the amount of infomercial things.
Oh, I had the
you had bought.
we did a lot of infomercials.
Yeah.
We had the little 6
Not we.
the 6-second abs where the clicking thing.
Oh yeah.
The little bands in there, and you're like click, 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 click.
Did you ever do Tybo?
Oh yeah, we did Tybo.
Well, Farrell's is a little Tybo.
It kind of is.
Right.
It kinda is.
The warm up.
We had
it
was Tybo, but with like a weighted bar sort of thing.
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
I did twice.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we've done that.
Had 2 Bowflexes.
Yeah.
2 of them.
We bought one, sold one,
Bought
bought
sold
another
one.
one,
Yes.
sold it.
because and here's what we think. Like,
So the point is, like, you can't just buy something. You never actually changed. We never actually made it a part of our life. We just thought we have it now. Everything's going to be different.
And I remember seeing the Bowflex commercials, thinking to myself,
I really did like the Bowflex.
I can look like that guy.
Sure.
I can, like, so when I see these ads of fitness places, like I've seen 4 today, right? Of people that are like, just have 8-pack abs and just ripped. And it's like, it's sensational marketing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the Bowflex was like. Okay, you're not going to join any gym and look like the person on the ad magically, right? It takes a lot of hard work. It takes time and dedication.
The person on the ad doesn't even usually look like the person on the ad. They prepared for the ad for weeks, leading up to.
And the person on the Bowflex ad probably wasn't just doing the Bowflex.
And they probably had really good genetics, too.
Right?
And a makeup artist.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So whatever.
But anyway, so we had the Bowflex.
It's a mindset thing. You have to change. You can't just say, okay, I signed up for Farrell's, but then not actually change anything. Like, it's not going to be magic.
It isn't magic. There's really no magic pill.
So mean of me.
Well,
to say.
We're going to go to a break, and then we'll get to Mark's results here. And his mom should be in studio here.
She's here.
So Peggy's going to be joining us, and we're going to talk his results, why his mom's in here, so we can just see the glowing look on her face of being a proud mama.
She would have been disappointed, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, let's make that clear.
All right. We'll be right back with Mark and Peggy Onwiler on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable and internet connectivity, need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Fanatics Sports Complex on West Oak Street.
I'm dreaming of
winning thousands of dollars,
just like the ones
the Nebraska Lottery is giving away.
May your days be merry and bright
when you enter the Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion.
And may all your holidays
be filled with lots and lots of cash.
I'm dreaming of
entering non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes scratch tickets,
just like the ones
you can find at any Nebraska Lottery retailer.
May your days be merry and bright.
How could they not, with chances to win $1,000, $5,000, or even $10,000?
And may all your Christmases be
Green.
There are 2 drawings for winners, so visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer today. Buy some tickets and enter our Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion. Promotion ends January 4th, 2023. Top prize odds vary by game.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Welcome back in. Now I can't hear myself. Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We're joined in studio by Mark Onwiler, the station manager here at the Tickets, and his mama, Peggy Onwiler.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fabulous.
Good, good. Well, thanks for coming in. We remember when you started the 10-week challenge, we asked at orientation if anybody be willing to come into the studio, and you raised your hand instantly. So now we have you in here 6 months later because you started in July, or 5 months later. So we're going to talk to you here coming up, but we wanted to get to Mark's results. So we kind of teased that a little bit. So this segment will be about 10, 12 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about his results here. So Mark has lost since, let's see, this was done April 7th, 2022. He started at 317 pounds, 370.9 pounds. He's down to 224.6. So that's over 93 pounds down. He's getting close to the century mark. So when you get to that century mark, we want to get a Wilt Chamberlain picture with you holding a piece of paper and have 100 wrote on it.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
We got to get that done.
We got to find a nice locker room to sit in somewhere.
Yeah, get a locker room. Yes. So, and that, if it gets before the end of the year, it does. If not, it's not a big deal. Your body's working at your body's pace. So it's interesting though to see, like, looking at all your results, how like there was about 6 weeks where you'd lost a couple pounds and you're probably like, but you kept with it. And then the next time you did it, you were down like 14 pounds.
Yeah.
Do you still weigh yourself regularly?
Every day. Every single day.
Then so then how come last week when I was like, we should probably do an in-body, you acted like you didn't know where you were going to be?
Because all I know is a number on a scale. There's so much more.
Like, I don't know.
There's so much more from the in-body.
You made it sound like...
No, I knew exactly that number was going to be 93 pounds. What I didn't know is what the body fat would be, what the muscle composition would be. So
All right.
look, if I had an in-body at my house, I would do it every single day.
That would be horrible.
It would be.
So the body fat percentage started at 39 or 39.9. So, but right, just a tick under 40%.
Not 40.
Not 40.
Right. Just
So Wednesday, you were at 17.9.
Mm-hmm.
So
Crazy.
you're down 22% body fat. And this is just since April.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's making it look easy.
Right. So we're just this morning, we were like, Mark still has 7 months before his final picture. Like,
Does that make you nervous?
It feels like it's,
You know how our minds work. You know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. It feels like there's a lot of time to fine tune.
Okay, good. Because my brain would be like, there's a lot of time to screw this up. There's a lot I could do wrong.
Basically, what I'm worried about is, so it's been big changes over 7 months, right? And those big changes are going to go away.
Yeah.
And they're going to become more minute. And so
maybe, I don't know.
Well, at some point, like I don't have another 93 pounds to lose.
Yeah.
In any healthy way.
Yes.
Anyway.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah. So it's not going to show up every day on the scale.
Yeah.
So that's where I get nervous, is if that's not happening,
right?
Then
how you're going to deal
what's
with
the motivation?
Yeah, that's true. Because even according to this, so on the InBody, there's a thing that tells us your body fat, lean body mass control. So it tells us like how many pounds of body fat you would need to lose to be in the normal range. And then it also tells people if they're under in muscle, like if they need to gain muscle. So it kind of tells you, and it's based off of an average of someone of your average age and height, where you should be in terms of pounds of muscle, pounds of body fat. So sometimes we do have people that need to lose fat and gain muscle in their 10 weeks, like because they're under in muscle and they're over in body fat. And you're only 7 pounds away from normal.
Right?
Yeah,
like, I would consider.
Yeah.
And when you started, you were 93 pounds away, like 93 pounds of fat. So as far as like fat loss has gone, you've gone from 126.8 pounds of fat to 40.3. So we've lost 86.5 pounds of fat.
Crazy.
And then your muscle mass, which is really interesting. You would think when somebody loses 100 pounds, or usually when somebody loses 100 pounds, generally you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass, like a lot of muscle mass. Since April, you've only dropped 4 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which what that means is you're not doing the quick fix weight loss, like the low calorie, the low carb,
your body's getting what it needs.
It's getting what it needs. It's getting the protein it needs. And that's why you've only, and really since May, because in your 5 weeks, you dropped 3 pounds of muscle. So since May,
which is normal, but that's really not that uncommon.
Right. So since May, it's only down 1 pound.
Yeah. For me, and during this last 10 weeks, that was a bit of a focus for me, was really trying to, especially with the protein and the nutrition, trying to really ramp that up and maintain what I had in that way. And also in class for the strength training.
Yeah, you've been working harder in class for sure. I've taught a couple 5 a.m.s. I've worked out at 5 a.m. You can tell you're definitely hitting it hard.
Yeah.
You're not the scared to use a red O-ring anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I don't think I was ever scared. It was just not necessarily knowing how far I could push it. So I think this last 10 weeks, I wanted to see what can I do, and with that being the goal, I want to maintain whatever muscle mass is there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, which is huge. That's shocking to me.
It is shocking
to lose that much weight,
Yep.
because when this is what we tell people who do lose muscle, kind of at that 5 and 10 weeks, which is normal sometimes, especially when you have a lot of weight to lose, because you're carrying 92 pounds less of yourself around every single day. Like your body doesn't need that much muscle, but because you're being consistent with your workouts, because you're being consistent with your protein, your body knows that it needs that muscle. So it's not getting, like, our bodies are pretty smart also, so it's like, well, he's using this so I'm not going to get rid of it. So that's crazy, because I would have really thought you would have lost more muscle than that at this point.
It's something I tell myself too during classes is, well, I used to carry 90 more pounds than I am. So I can do, whether if it's ab work and I'm holding the dumbbell, I'm like, well, I can do this because I used to do it naturally.
That was
right?
my life.
Yeah, right. Or squats or whatever. Like I can do that way because I used to.
Yeah, that's huge.
I try not to use that as an excuse.
Yeah. So my big question is, you're a little, not quite halfway through this program, but what you're doing right now, is this something that you're going to be able to sustain
after the national challenge?
Yeah.
Or well, I don't think in terms of the nutrition, what I'm doing now isn't what I would want to do to sustain. Like that would have to be
Okay.
tweaked
Right.
in some way. Right now it's pretty regimented.
Yeah.
Just for my own sanity. So I'm not spending all that mental effort trying to figure out, okay, well, today, how do I get my macros? Like I just want that off my plate. So especially breakfast and lunch,
Same thing.
it's almost the same. Like I have 3 or 4 things I rotate through, and I know what they are. I just don't have to think about it. Right? No, I don't want that to be my life for the next 60 years.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But do you feel like you can transition at some point? Like, because we want to make sure you're going to keep your results.
Yeah.
Like, you're not doing stuff that's super crazy, that doesn't fit into your life. You're not putting your whole life on hold for a whole year just to go back to kind of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's important for people to think about too.
Yeah, and it's been on my mind lately, especially with Thanksgiving, with Christmas coming up. Like, those are almost glimpses into what an unregulated world is, right? Like for me.
What got you where?
And it was a little eye-opening to me on Thanksgiving. The food was just out, and I fell right back into, and I tried to allow myself to be guilt-free that day, knowing,
which is totally fine. You absolutely
absolutely. But then the next day and the next day, it was all those old cravings were right back. And so for me, that's going to be the thing, is when there is, a one-off or whatever, not letting that old guilt come in, not feeling defeated in some way, being able to overcome whatever those cravings are and get back on track. So that's something, especially over this next month, I want to pay particular attention to, because I think that's going to be super important. Because I found myself in that mindset of, well, I jumped on the scale today. It was 3 pounds heavier. What's the point of all of this? It's just, I'm just going to go back. Like,
might as well just wait till Monday.
That quickly, right? Yeah, and it was. And then you do that whole mental spiral. So
I think that's what's important about the national challenge, though, too, because you get a whole year of figuring out how to navigate those times, because it really is such a small part of your life, your year, or whatever. Most of the time you're on autopilot. So if you can figure out that autopilot, then those, that turbulence that you hit is going to be a little more manageable. And Thanksgiving is going to help set you up for being able to manage Christmas better. And, so I think that's important too, to kind of look at. But no, that's.
Well, even when we talked to Peter, the male $10,000 winner last year or this year, he said his last 2 months, yes, he was kind of eating in a way that was going to be unsustainable, right?
Yes.
And then once it got over, it's, and even like people, when they do the 10-week challenge, they're like, okay, what's next? We want you to find a balance in your life, right? Some people will do the 10 weeks and be so extreme, and then they'll gain all their weight back because they've been doing things that they really weren't supposed to be doing. They weren't really following the Farrell's meal plan to see those extreme results. So then once that $1,000 challenge is over, now it's like, okay, well, now I really didn't learn anything. So I just go back to doing what I've been doing my whole life. And so then the weight starts to creep back on, and then it's like, and I've been there hundreds of times. So
you were there this morning.
See, I'm an emotional basket case. Also. I go through that too. What's the point? What am I doing this? Well, it's a good thing I'm a gym owner. That's why I do it.
Well, and I am grateful for that, because anytime I've lost weight previously, what I didn't have was the Farrells every morning to be that constant, right? That reminder every single day, to start every single day of where you should be. So for me, that part of it, like, that's completely sustational. Right. That's not going to go away.
Which is huge, because at the end of the day, being active, being healthy, and as you finish your challenge, or even you have Thanksgiving and then you feel a little sluggish the next day, you know what I mean? And you realize that, but if you can keep that habit up, that's going to make everything else easier. Even though, if you're not as strict on your nutrition, you will know exactly what to do to get right back where you need to be, or what you can tighten up, or you can start experimenting a little bit. Like, okay, let's try to add this in, see how that didn't work. So you take it back, but as long as you can stay consistent with, for me, that's how I am with exercise. That's the key for me, because if I'm not exercising, I just don't know if I would eat well. Like, I need to be sore at some point to remind myself to drink water and eat protein, and like that, it all works for me that way. So I think that's good that you found that too.
Mark did have a few classes after, this Thursday, Friday, Saturday to
I had
burn those calories.
I had 3 straight Jeff classes, so that was he's taking care of me.
Right.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
And yesterday was a really high calorie burning workout.
That was a day where the water bottle got shoved in the corner and didn't get touched.
Well, it's great. You had all that glycogen in your muscles. I mean, actually, when I worked out on that Friday for kickboxing, I felt great because we didn't eat terribly, but we did eat more carbs. So like, I felt carb loaded. Like, I felt great. I didn't really get tired, so that was kind of nice. I think Thanksgiving food is kind of good for that. It's not like when you go on vacation. Vacation's a whole different story. Right. You go on vacation, you come back and you feel sluggish for sure. But it was just a lot of carbs. I felt great the last 2 days for workouts.
Yeah, my eating has just kind of kept going over the 4 days. So.
Well, I know.
We're ready though.
There's donuts over there.
No, I'm not.
No,
okay. I don't eat leftovers.
Oh, okay.
You don't eat leftover donuts.
I want a donut. I want it fresh.
It was fresh yesterday.
Right out of the case.
They're Matt Rule donuts.
Matt Rule donuts?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
How long before we got our next break? We go to break now?
We can go now.
Okay. Let's go to
go
break. When we get back, we're going to visit with Peggy a little bit.
Yeah.
93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
People always ask, what are Jake and Zip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably right.
Hey, Jake, I'm looking a little dirty.
As the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. And that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa, Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Simple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Simple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with football, basketball. It'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West South Street.
Working at Continental and Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certification. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com. Keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. If you qualify for Medicare, then you're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make an informed decision at American Senior Benefits.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Fitness Fanatics. So we're going to chat with Mark's mom here a little bit before we get into her story, which we'll get at the top of the hour. We've been talking a lot about Mark's changes. He's down 93 pounds, 22% body fat. He's lost 87 pounds of fat, which is crazy.
Yeah, we haven't done your measurements yet, so we don't know whether we're out on that.
Yeah, we'll get those done in a couple weeks here into this next challenge. So, Peggy, over the last 7 months, this is an extreme transformation, and we're only 7 months into this. Have you seen the gradual changes, or because I know, before you started Farrell's in July, how often did you see Mark? Now you see him every single day,
right.
But before then, how was that?
I would see him maybe once every other week.
Every couple weeks.
Yeah. And to be honest, the kind of crazy thing is, I'm not sure I was used to seeing him large. Growing up, he was not. And sorry, it's true.
Oh, it's a scrawny kid.
Right, yeah.
In fact, we took him to the doctor because he was underweight and we were so worried about his weight. And the doctor's like, if he's eating peanut butter and jelly, that's all we have to worry about. But my mom was ready, or my dad was ready to. He's like, you're going to have to get shots. You're going to get poked. And
why are grandpas always like that?
I don't know, but my memory is being told you need to eat or they're going to put needles in you.
Which is probably what he said. And,
Stuck
Mark,
with me.
and Mark thought that meant Grandpa was going to put needles straight in jail. But
best of intentions.
But anyway, I knew he was doing this show with you, and I remember it had nothing to do with Mark, sitting in my dentist's parking lot, listening to your show. And I don't even know, did you do the show before you had a weekly show?
No, we had been on so prior to us having a show, we did marketing with the ticket. So, but we wouldn't really do any marketing until about 2-3 weeks before the challenge started. So usually a couple weeks before I would come in and be on with Sip and Jake, for 10 minutes. I would be on with Aaron Davis for 10 minutes.
But our show started how long before the next session?
Just a week before.
Yeah, because we did the show, and then after the show, Mark was like, well, if you want someone to do the challenge, I guess I'll do it. So it had to have been very very like that first show, even maybe, or something that you were listening to. Yeah.
Because I'm listening in the parking lot, and I realized it was awesome. Your show was awesome. And I'm sitting there, not driving away. And I thought, I don't know who these people are, but this is really interesting. It just totally engaged me from the moment. But to me, that extreme body shaping was scary.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's not for me because I'm old, and that's for somebody who's got all these muscles and is going to go be buff working out. And
see, that's why Jeff doesn't get buff, because he doesn't want to be intimidating.
Yes,
to
I have
people.
to be normal.
Right.
Your restraint is really impressive.
Yes, yeah. And that's why I wear sweatshirts, because I don't want anybody to see how
You have no idea what's under that.
my arms really look. I don't want to intimidate anybody.
It's all part of our business plan.
Yep, business model.
so that was my first introduction that you even existed. And then Mark joined up, and I'm watching him, and once again, it's like, no offense, Mark, but
you're the mom. It's okay.
I
All
know
bets are off.
bad, but
Right.
But it's like, if Mark can do this, this is cool. But okay,
she was skeptical. She's
a little bit.
New tagline: If Mark can do it, anyone can do it.
That's my tagline. I want people. If Nicole can do it, anybody can do it.
But it wasn't until Mark finished his 10 weeks, and I mean, I was totally impressed, very, very proud. But then he said, "So, Mom, you going to do the next one?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute. You think I could?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, you had mentioned too, yes, I've been through gym memberships and Weight Watchers and on my own and done it all. And I mean, I've done marathons, I've done half marathons, not anymore. But we were at the point where, and we'll get to my story, but
yeah,
it's like, if Mark thinks I can do this, maybe I can do this. So anyway, his transformation is definitely what brought me here too.
And there's been a couple times that I met your hubby at the last 10-week challenge and our party, the last 10-week party.
Right.
And he had told me that he didn't even recognize him. And so that's happened multiple times, right?
Yes.
Like you guys were just saying at the game last weekend, Mark, you were held the door.
Yeah, we were out at Tipsy Tina's for the ticket, and I was finishing up. I had sat and had breakfast with him and my brother and my other brother, and so anyway, they were. I was going in to drop off the keys to the ticket car. They were coming out, and I was just holding the door, and he gave me a very polite and formal thank you. Like, I had no idea who I was holding the door for him, and so he walks out, and my older brother, he goes, "You know that was your son, right?" And he's like, "Oh, I had no idea." And then
That's
again,
funny.
we were at a brewery after the game, and I'd gone to the bathroom and just walked up to him like he was in line to pay,
Oh,
and I walked up to him, and he steps aside so I could go past him because he again just did not recognize this man walking up to him.
That's funny. But we did talk about this because I told you about, I texted you a couple weeks ago, because not only has your obviously your body has changed, you're a smaller person. I've noticed you walking into class, your demeanor has changed too. Like you have a lot more confidence when you walk into the gym. Like obviously I don't see you in your everyday life, but like just the way that you walk into the gym is so different than how you started the program. So I'm sure that's part of it too, where you kind of had a demeanor to you that has changed now.
Yeah.
And that's probably what he's picking up
I'm
on
sure
too.
you're right, and
yeah.
I've noticed it in myself. You know, if I walk into a room, it used to be I would want to blend into the background as much as I could, and even the way I stand. You know, I used to stand more hunched forward because I wanted my clothes to fall in a way that hid my stomach, right? Like I don't want that gap between my shirt and my pants.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd hunch forward and try and hide that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I can stand up more tall and just have more of a presence without feeling ashamed for being in a room. I don't take up as much space in the room in general, so I don't feel like I have to back into a corner to make literal room for other people to be there. You know, so it's things like that I've absolutely noticed about myself.
Yeah.
Well, and what's cool too is like the 5 a.m.ers, like just in the last month or two have like started to say something to me. Like,
really?
like they've noticed your changes. So when
I didn't know
people
that.
see you
Well,
every
it's
day.
early. 5 a.m. is early.
right.
People are half asleep, and you never know.
Well, and
I
they
know.
see you every day.
Yeah.
So like usually you don't notice, but at some point you like maybe you wear a sleeveless shirt.
You
or
have
you're
started wearing different clothes.
Right.
That's for sure. You obviously needed
Oh.
to upgrade the wardrobe a little bit.
The addition of sleeveless shirts,
Mhm.
like for me, that was a big deal. Like I feel comfortable wearing this in this setting with other people who look good.
Mhm.
Like I don't feel out of place by doing that.
And I think
that's
it's
awesome.
cool too, like when women will wear like tank tops.
Yeah.
Like when they start, they're wearing t-shirts.
Yeah.
And then when you see that first tank top, you're like, wow, they're feeling really confident about
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
things like that are really cool for me to see. You know, and just kind of transformation. But yeah, I've had fit members, instructors say, how much has he lost? Like, so we're all rooting for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So
Yep.
your presence of just starting your 10 weeks, being on the side with Troy, who's your bag
Yeah.
partner.
Now you're right up front.
Right up front, right in front of the instructor. And that's where I like to stand. I would like where the action is. I don't
Me
like
too.
to be in the back.
Yeah,
I want to be
me
right
too.
up front.
It keeps me accountable too.
Yeah.
I think.
'Cause if-
So, okay, one more question too before we go to break. What is the psychology behind when and why you turn your hat backwards? Because there's a lot of hat turning that's happening during class
there
too.
is.
So what
There
is that? Is it like, I mean, because I do, we women, we do that. We fix our ponytail or whatever. Yours is a hat turn. Is there is there psychology behind that?
No, it's mostly sweat related.
Okay.
The backwards hat keeps the sweat away better.
Okay.
But when we're doing whether tricep things
Yes.
or sit-ups or whatever, I have to turn it back
Okay,
forward,
yeah.
and then I forget to turn it back until sweat starts dripping again.
Okay.
So, but it is. There's
Yeah.
a lot of back and forth.
I know.
Now, if you've seen the movie Over the Top, it's like a switch that goes on, right?
It is. You're
How
like,
Lincoln
okay.
Hawk turns that hat
Yeah.
around and he's ready. Have you
Yeah.
seen that movie?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
What?
I have never heard of this movie.
Okay.
The arm wrestling movie?
Okay. It's called
What?
Yes.
The cinematic classic arm wrestling movie? No, I haven't seen it.
It is a classic. It's called Over the Top. Okay. Or I was gonna say Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone is in it.
Okay.
And it's arm wrestling.
Yeah,
So
it is.
he's a trucker and well, it's his patented move over the top is where you just need to watch it. But anyway, he talks about how he turns his hat around and it's just like a switch that goes on. So when that hat turns, now he's focused and he's ready for that arm wrestling match.
Yep.
But you would love it as a guy. You would.
I'm
love
in.
it.
I've made the mental note.
Over the top.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So
And
he take his wrist over the top, and that's his
His whole
like makes his moves
Yeah.
in his hand
Right.
over the top. And
Okay.
it's like the switch
Yes.
for this hat that goes. So
Okay.
anyway, you need to watch that. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We're up against the break. We'll be back top of the hour with Peggy and Mark Onwiler on the Fitness Fanatics.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at epmercado.com to see current deals.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, put you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Life is too short to constantly be in pain and do nothing about it. Why not get a massage to ease your body pains away? The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. Interested in a couples massage? The Body Shop offers those too in 1 hour or 90-minute increments. Book your appointment today or get ahead on gift giving with a gift certificate at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bockelman and Enrique Alvarez-Clary.
It's crazy. This Iowa-Nebraska game is going to play out exactly how you expect it will, and we all expect it to play out the same. Like, there's just Iowa has a certain way they win, Nebraska has a certain way they lose,
And they match up very well.
and it's going to just perfectly blend for exactly what you expect on Friday.
You know what? You're right.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK Bedford, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essink.
All right, top of the hour. If you missed any part of the show, you can check us out on our podcast page on theticketfm.com. We're under the Ticket Weeknights and Weekends section there. So we're going to get into Peggy's story here. So we've been talking about Mark started the challenge in April, and we get more people that do Farrells from referrals than we do of anything else. Like even in our ticket marketing that we've been doing over the last year, it's kind of a combination of, Mark telling his story and then people that listen to the show know who he is. So it's basically like a referral when people call and say, oh, I heard you on the ticket and that type of thing. So what made you decide to join? And then give us a little bit of your backstory. Your backstory. Like you said, you had done marathons and all that. So you were obviously into fitness, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. So kind of go into your story about what made you decide to start and your little backstory.
My backstory.
Yes. Backstory.
I was born on a snowy day. No.
In 19.
We don't know. We don't know.
I have to say, the day that you asked me, Jeff, if I was into Elvis music, you said this is your music, right?
Was it the 50s and 60s playlist that I was listening to?
I don't know, but
Something
it's like
that,
Elvis. How old do you think I am? So then there was some other, Mickey, you're so fine. That one.
Right. The 80s fun run.
Yeah, that would be like my high school years.
Footloose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Elvis.
Right. Not Elvis.
Just getting this out there. Yes, I was definitely into fitness. I was never like an instructor type fitness, but it was always an interest of mine. And staying slim was always a motivation for me. I think I've talked to Nicole about there's a difference between being skinny and being healthy.
And strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Feeling strong.
Yes. And I'll get to where I came, but that is one thing Farrell's has definitely done for me is I feel stronger. And I don't just mean my muscles, but mentally. It's empowered me more than anything else that I've ever done. But the backstory, last July of 2021, I had an injury and hurt my back. Ended up in the hospital, ambulance taken, 4 days in the hospital. We all thought it was my knee, though. I mean, my back hurt, but my knee was definitely injured. And I left on crutches, barely walking, and went to an orthopedic surgeon who did nothing for me. Went to PT. They were helpful, but finally they said, we're just not seeing progress. You need to go see your doctor. And I hadn't actually been to my regular doctor. I've been to all these specialists.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And he's doing the old reflex thing. He said, this isn't your knee, this is your back. I said, no, it's definitely my knee. He said, no, it's your back. He sent me to different specialists, and last November, it's been a year, I had back surgery. I was out of, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I was out for 8 weeks, and definitely, I mean, getting off the couch was huge.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yes.
And I've been dealing with a back injury too for about 1.5 years now, and that I've done everything to avoid having to do surgery. It's taken, my recovery's taken longer for sure. I'm leaps and bounds beyond where I was, but the unknown of that surgery and that downtime has been very intimidating for me. Yeah. Yep.
And they've talked about doing a second surgery, because that's what I hear. Once you have one, you're probably going to have another. And I do not want a second surgery,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have nerve damage in that knee. And so there's still no reflex there.
Wow.
And I mean, a lot of my friends, that's where the age thing comes in. It's like, well, I'm 58 and you're 58. You're a grandma. It's okay. This is just what life is. And I refuse to accept that. My 10 may be different than Mark's 10 or your 10 or your 10, but I still want to live life at my 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living life more at a 3. And I refuse to accept that. So when Mark said, want to do this with me? My first thought was, I don't think I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then him believing in me was like, well, maybe I can.
Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. You try it out. What's the worst that can happen?
And I am so like, okay, then let's do this. I signed up probably as soon as I knew how to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm signed up, I'm committed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And going to that that
orientation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That orientation. There was somebody else there, and I'm the one who kept going, I'll see you Monday. I will see you Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, I'll see you Monday. I'm like, no, I will see you Monday.
Yeah.
And trying to keep her accountable definitely keeps me accountable. Or I would go to school and talk about, yep, I get up at 3:45 every day, and they think I'm crazy, but I love starting my day that way.
Mm-hmm.
And do I want to get out of bed every day? Of course not.
Right.
But I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the pain. Do you love the pain? I kind of do.
Yeah.
I kind of do, because it means I'm working. But my back is so much better.
Good. Mm-hmm.
I can get out of a seated position without looking like I'm 90.
Mm-hmm.
And that's empowering. When you talked about Mark and his confidence, I definitely agree, but I feel my own confidence too. And I see that. I mean, when I walk into Farrell's, I heard, it's going to feel like a family. Yeah, right. It does. I mean, it's a safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
Until someone tries to take your bag, right?
Well, yeah, or doesn't pick you when you're planking and
oh yeah.
Yes.
And you're
I'm not gonna
dying.
And it's your own child. Yeah.
I know. I was dying. So I know he's not there for me when I'm dying,
Right.
but
He's helping you live. It's living.
Thank
It's
you,
living.
Nicole. Thank you.
Yeah.
he
Yes.
did say Nicole would stick up for me.
I'm going to stick up for the people working hard. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
But that is it. I mean, you do work hard, but nobody is judging, because they're all doing their own thing.
Mhm.
They're all living their own purpose, and they're supportive, hugely supportive. But I don't feel any judgment when I go in. And most of the instructors, if like, let's say I'm switching to a different band down. It's not like you're getting sympathy, but it's encouragement.
Mhm.
You can do this. You can finish. There's just 10 more or whatever it is. So I know they're noticing what you're doing,
Mhm.
and they're not letting up on you, but there's encouragement. And that's huge for me.
Good. Yep. That's awesome. I don't have anything. What? Go ahead.
You mentioned your back. I don't know if you want to talk about your other health changes that you've seen through the doctor, different test results, things like that.
Oh, like my high blood pressure?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk
I think,
about that.
I mean, and this is really important to talk about too, because you're a person that you didn't come into the program needing to lose weight necessarily. I think most people, you know, you're definitely on the smaller end of the average of someone who starts our program. That doesn't mean mentally you didn't think that about yourself, that you know what I mean? But I think most people would look at you and think that you're healthy, you know, because you're in a smaller body. So I think people think that that's just how the world is, you know.
I can
So it's
address
important
that
to talk about.
because yes, I do feel like I need pounds off the scale, but it's not huge pounds. But my body fat percentage is still large and was really large when I started. So that for me is my goal, is seeing that go down and the muscle build. His youngest brother, when he was like 2, I remember he would push me and talk about my squishy. It's like,
kids.
I hate that.
Right.
I hate that. So now it's like, well, there's a lot less squishy than there used to be. So
yeah. So you've seen positive changes in your blood tests too.
Yeah, it was like 189 or something, and it's now down around 112 over 70 something.
Oh yeah.
So that's huge. Trying to think what else.
Well, and you drive from Firth,
Panama,
right?
but yeah.
Okay, Panama. So you have what, 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive?
Yep.
Okay, so we're moving our gym 3 miles away.
Yeah.
And people act like it's like we're moving from Pioneers to Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Like
It's different when you live in town than
I
when
know,
you live out of town.
But Peggy drives 25 minutes to the gym, 25 minutes back home 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I live 4 miles from Yankee Hill, I can't make it. You can make it.
Yeah.
You can drive and do something that you want to do. You can make that happen.
And you might actually enjoy having that time. You know, I'm
Absolutely.
sure you do. We have one of our instructors at Pioneers, Molly Peterson. They just recently moved really close to our gym. And so we're like, oh no. And they've lived farther away. But like they would be really close to the new gym now. And I'm like, Molly's going to be so mad. And Molly was like, you know, honestly, I kind of miss that time in the car, you know, driving home, drinking my protein shake, having a little time to myself before I have to start, you know, my day. And so I think it's how you look at it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Teaching kindergarten, and then we have a 15-year-old at home. So there's constantly somebody who needs me. And this is my time, both at the gym and in the car.
Yeah.
That's my time.
Yep. That's how it was for me too when I started, because we lived about 20 minutes away. The worst part was those days after like a really tough leg day and just being mildly concerned about getting out of the car after sitting for 25 minutes in the car. Like, okay, I think I can do this. I don't think I'm going to fall, but yeah.
We do have a text from Bubba who said, amen, Peggy, to the Farrell's making you mentally strong. So Bubba's currently doing his 10-week challenge right now. He is we're starting week 9 tomorrow. So looking forward to seeing him here in a couple weeks and seeing how
he does, because he is virtual.
Yeah, he does it all from home. So interested to see how he's done over his 10-week challenge. So thanks for listening, Bubba, and texting in. Peggy, anything you want to add to, you know, your experience or
Well, we talked about, you know, we kind of talked about when you did your 5-week testing and we always have expectations, but you don't really know what to expect because this is something brand new. And so we had talked about it when you did your InBody, that you had done Weight Watchers in the past to lose weight, but hadn't really incorporated that, maybe necessarily the nutrition and the fitness all at one. So like, how did you have to, like, what was that mentally like for you to like have to change that mindset?
I still struggle mentally with the nutrition part of it.
We all do.
I believe
that does not make you special.
Nothing makes you special.
There you go. That was
Gotta
the
throw
first
that in there.
lesson that Mark taught me. That
Right, see?
was the goal.
Yeah, you are not special.
Yep,
you're normal.
I think that was orientation.
Yeah, yep.
Um,
But yeah, nutrition's hard for everybody.
it is, and with Weight Watchers, I actually lost all the weight I wanted to, and then my personal problem was, now what? Because I did not know how to maintain it. I knew how to lose it.
Yeah.
I did not know how to maintain it because, okay, it's gone. Now I can go back to what I used to do.
Right.
And when you do that, it all returns.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, okay, if you eat that way, you're going to look this way. If you eat this way, you will look this way. And you are teaching a way that's fit and strong.
It's a feeling, not a look necessarily.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Yes. And for me personally, with Weight Watchers, I knew how to work those points like nothing. And I could still lose weight, but
I did Weight Watchers when I was in my 20s, which is ridiculous now, but I would do the same thing. I just wouldn't eat all day long. So then I could eat pizza and have a can of Pepsi at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, and I think back about, there was nothing about eating healthy. Now that, not to say you couldn't do that program and not eat healthy,
right?
But you can manipulate it to continue to keep your bad habits for sure. Yeah.
I knew how to do that easily. You know, if it meant this candy bar was this many points, cool. Then I won't eat that salad and this stuff, because then I can eat that. I do have a friend, that Lisa, that we went through Weight Watchers together, and she at the time was my next door teaching partner. So she was right next door to me, and we both had great success with that. She also added in the fitness part. She's just finishing up treatment from cancer, and yeah, she's doing well right now, but they told her if it were not for her being in such good shape, she would not have handled the treatments as well as she did.
Yeah.
That was also an eye-opener for me. You never know what's around the corner for you, or what
you will need that mental toughness for.
Yes.
That's that's always been, that's a huge thing for me too, that we talk about. We talk about willful suffering. You're doing this on purpose so then you can handle it later when you don't know it's coming. Yeah,
Right.
That's huge. It is.
And we don't know what that challenge is going to be. For her, it was the cancer, and she's doing great. But
and you know what the doctor didn't say? If a number on the scale had been, then the doctor didn't say like, oh, well, if you hadn't weighed X amount of pounds before you started treatment, that they didn't say that. It was about the fitness part about it, and the mental, just being able to handle those challenges because she's challenged herself in other ways. Yeah.
Right.
So we just really wish I could get people to stop worrying about the number on the scale. Nobody cares how much you weigh.
Well, and she could have put off fitness and all that, and it would have been too late.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in here on AD show and Raph, and we're talking, I mean, if you listen to their shows on from 8 to 10, if you listen to AD Aaron Davis speak, he does a great job of get you thinking, about excuses and why I can't start something. And people will text in the show and be just like, I don't have time. I'm just not ready. And one thing AD will preach about is like, you don't know how much time you have left, right? It could all change tomorrow. Like you're putting off, like, and I could go through my phone when people ask me about Farrell's and of
The amount of time it takes for them to actually decide.
No,
or,
just like me back and forth on why they can't start, and basically like reasons, excuses, and like hundreds of people that I text back and forth. And it's sad because like what AD says, like, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You can only do what you can control, right? We can control our health. Nobody else can control it. We control our health. So the more we put it off, and we see this too with our FIT members, the longer you're away from the gym, the harder it is to come back.
Yeah.
And 1 week turns to 2, 2 turns to a month to a year.
Well, and Peggy went through that because you had COVID.
She did, yes.
during your 10 weeks. Like
And-
you did not have a best case scenario, perfect attendance, everything was great 10 weeks. Like you were really sick for a good couple weeks in your 10 weeks.
Right. And then coming back, you're still not 100%, but it's like, I have to.
Yeah.
And that was in like,
It was
what
huge.
week was
3?
that? Week
I think
2?
3.
Yeah, week 3.
So week 3 and week 7 are kind of some danger points for 10-week challengers. Is because week 3 you're kind of
Tired.
the newness is over,
Mm-hmm.
right? So whenever we start anything, we're excited. So
yeah.
But after the first 2 weeks, now that kind of newness of the shiny new toy is gone, and so now here we get to week 3, which is kind of a danger point anyway, and now you get COVID. So you're out for a week. Were you gone for over a week, 2 weeks maybe?
I think I was gone a week and then still pretty weak for the next
Right.
week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that could have been an opportunity for
An
excuse for you to be like, what's the point now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sick. I'm weak. Like, what's the point of coming back?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people do that. And for me, I think it's more impressive when people go through adversity over the 10-week challenge and finish strong. That's how because we've done marathons too,
I know,
right?
I was thinking of that too.
I think it's tougher to do a marathon in 5.5 hours.
Well, of course it
or
is.
6 hours than to do a marathon in 3 hours.
The 3 hour, those people are already home.
Yeah, you're right. You're
you
done.
were still out on the course.
I need to remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. Next time I do a run. Like,
It's-
yeah, okay.
yeah.
You guys that did this in 20 minutes.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Try something hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
I'd be
home.
doing an hour.
Feet kicked up.
It is true, though.
Yes.
It takes grit. Takes grit.
Yes. So
And we've talked about that with your marathon, the one that you had that was kind of a train wreck because you didn't train properly because you got busy. Whatever, you still showed up. It was like 6 hours
6
almost,
hours and 26
or more than
minutes.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And the day did not go how you had planned. You didn't set yourself up for the best, but like you were hurting, you were just really struggling, and an elite athlete probably would have called it quits at that point. Like if they would have been 50% into their race, into their day, and it wasn't how they wanted it to go, they probably would have quit just because that's their mindset of like that elite mindset. Well, I'm just going to stop this one. I have my next one, you know. But for you, and that's what I love about races and people who come back from adversity, because you get to see that kind of the grit in people for that. Like, you know, it's not how your day was going to go, but you still showed up and you gave it all you got, and you're proud of yourself because of it.
Yep.
And you're inspiring to other people.
And we have had people that have gotten sick in week 3, 4, and then they never come back.
I did that. I got sick the very first time I did
Yeah.
Farrell's before it was Farrell's, but
And I
officially.
text people like, you know, so I mean, that's just how it is. So
human
kudos
nature.
to you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we're up
Yeah.
against the break. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. So Plumbing gets it right first time on high issues for your home. Water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margarita and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco bags. Grab the crew and head on over Monday night or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You are so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bockelman and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
It's crazy. This Iowa-Nebraska game is going to play out exactly how you expect it will, and we all expect it to play out the same. Like, there's just Iowa has a certain way they win, Nebraska has a certain way they lose,
And they match up very well.
and it's going to just perfectly blend for exactly what you expect on the front.
You know what? You're right.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Fitness Fanatics. You got us for another 2 segments here coming up. Last segment we spent with Peggy talking about her story, why she decided to do Farrell's. We've talked to her about the changes she's seen in Mark. Also talked about how Farrell's is a family atmosphere. Like you start, you don't know anybody, and then by the time you're done with your 10 weeks, you know so many more people, and everybody's excited for you. And then when the new group starts, like Peggy, now you've seen where a new group starts, and you kind of stand by Sarah and some of the new gals that started at 5, and you get to know them, right, over that time.
Yes, and it also was a realization to me that, okay, now you're one of the old timers, and I don't mean my age, but I just mean I've been
You're
there.
a veteran.
Yes. There we go. And so I need to encourage them. So I love personally that change in roles of I'm not the newbie anymore. I get to encourage you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mark, what have you kind of seen? Because now we got some real family going on, not just the Farrell's family, but some real family. And not everybody gets to see, their mom every single day.
Good or
So,
bad.
yeah,
I
good or
appreciate
bad.
you adding Sunday into the mix because that normally I don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, now we get now we're gonna go on like 16 or 13 days in a row here coming up at the end of next week. So what kind of changes have you seen in her? From just being healthy and being the strongest version of herself, not just related to you, but like, your brothers and sisters and all that type of thing.
Yeah, well, especially given what she was talking about with her challenges over the last year. You think about July 21, you went out to Colorado, had this injury. November, you're laid up for 2 months. And then I remember the nervousness and trepidation that you went into this with before you signed up and we're all gung ho. But I remember getting texts along the lines of, one, can I do this? What are other people going to think when they see me in the gym? Are there other people my age? Are there, what's the male to female ratio? Like just all this unknown, right? Like you wanted to know every aspect of it. What are you walking into and how out of place am I going to be? And then, I mean, I remember, though I told you nobody will watch what you do, watching what you do. and those first few days, I mean, even
it's not that we all see what we're doing. We just don't care. It's like what Brandy said when she was on that, like, everybody cares and nobody cares at the same time. right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So watching you punch the bag those first few days, and it was more like push the bag, right? Like there wasn't a whole there's no pump to it. Yeah, right. And part of that was where the fitness was and where your health was, and part of it was trepidation.
What the heck am I doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Learning something new.
So that's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talked about the confidence in me. That there's more confidence for you too, walking in, claiming the bag, interacting with the other people, right, and having the confidence to do that. Like, I still don't feel like I am there to encourage other people because I'm still working on myself as much. And but
you doing that is encouraging to other people.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of goes.
I've always been more of a silent leader anyway. Do as I do, not as I say.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Not how that goes.
Yeah.
But then there's the actual living of your life too, and you went back out to Colorado this summer. I don't, facing your fears isn't right, because I don't think you have a fear of the state anymore. But you went to Rocky Mountain State Park, and you were doing hikes and things that certainly 6 months ago wouldn't have been on the table. And things that challenged you, but challenged you appropriately, and that people were nervous. Can you do this? Like, yeah, sure. Grab the bull by the horns and do it, right? Without that fear on your side.
Yeah. Was it Tim talking to you or to somebody else? He's the son I went with, and he chose the hike.
I wasn't going to name names, but
Tim. And he chose a medium level hike. And during the hike, I'm like, this is perfect. It was not too easy. It was challenging enough, but it was doable. And he said something along the lines that he was impressed that basically I was able to do it, but I loved it. So,
well, I mean, you were moving along better than your 15-year-old was.
Yeah.
14-year-old at the time. So
14-year-old needing a break, and mom's like, let's go. What is happening here?
That's true.
Yes. That happened to us when we went and visited your dad in Arizona, and we went on a hike, and he took us off the path, and we were just following Wayne, and it's like the same thing. It's like, well, I mean, if he's doing it, I guess we're all doing it. So it's just us, and Ben was probably, I don't know, how old was Ben?
He would have been 8.
Yeah. So it's like
or 7.
And then Bo was there, but
they were about the same age.
Was Annabelle?
No.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember.
Maybe she did.
I can't remember. So anyway, I had kids all the way up to Jeff's dad, and we're just like, what is he doing? He's like, let's go this way. And it was not the way to go.
My buddy
And
Mike and his mom were there too.
Yes, yeah. So it was the same thing. It was like if he's doing it, then I guess we're gonna do it too. And that kind of kept us going, even though I was kind of scared for a little bit because it was a little treacherous.
I think they took Annabelle back down.
Oh, okay. And went around the easy way.
And we were scaling down this mountain basically to our death. And we scaled down the mountain, and then we got up this ravine, and then here comes Mike and Anissa.
Right. Yeah.
At the same time.
Right.
I think it was Anissa and Annabelle. I think Mike was with us, wasn't he?
Maybe. I don't
know. Anyway, but yes, we had a very similar
experience.
Sheesh.
Probably a worse experience, what it sounds like.
Yeah. It's treacherous. But anyway.
Are there any, Mom, for you, are there any goals along that line of things? Because I know you've talked about just wanting to generally be stronger and see those numbers adjust in a more positive overall composition. I keep putting things on the calendar, whether they're runs or races or just different things to shoot towards. And I don't know for you if you have anything like that, or anything that is a bucket list. I want to be able to do this at some point, or if you've given thought to anything like that.
I've given thought. I don't have that, but I need that. I was listening to somebody else that they went ahead and set their 10-week goals, even though they weren't doing the year challenge.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, here's where I want to be. And I haven't done that. The last challenge that we're in right now, that definitely motivated me to show up every day, which was good. My nutrition would be my biggest goal. I have not done as well as I did during the 10 weeks. And it's a mindset. I really need to fix my mindset. And I'm kind of the opposite. Mark's like, yep, I step on the scale. It's 3 pounds heavier. The heck with all this. I step on the scale and, I ate that and it didn't change. I'm good.
I always tell people that's even more dangerous sometimes when you kind of get away with it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be
And it
way
will
more
catch
dangerous.
up. I promise you. But at that moment, it's like, see, I can still do that and it doesn't matter. But it does matter.
Yeah.
And I know that. I just need to live that.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes, so you did the 10 weeks and you were pretty, better on your nutrition. So I think now what you should do is maybe don't think of it as an overall thing. Like think about what one thing can you change about your nutrition that's going to make the biggest impact, and change that instead of feeling like you have to change everything. You have to go back to, I have to go back to tracking my food. I have to go back to meal prepping. Like think about what's one thing that you could change that's going to make the biggest impact and get that down. And then once that becomes a habit, then okay, what's the next thing? So like if there's a meal that trips you up or, right. So think of that meal and think about, okay, how can I make that meal fit better into what I think will be better for me? And then get that down and then because you're not in the national challenge. You don't have a finish line, you're just doing this to feel better. So take a little bit of time and figure out, those little things. Cause I think that's what we end up doing. Like we give ourselves a goal and we're basically at the bottom of a mountain, just looking up. Well, in real life, you guys climb, that's not what you do. You go from like one section to the next section to the next section. So think about your nutrition that way, like what you can change. Or if it's the weekend, that's a big one for a lot of people. So like if the weekend is tripping you up, then think back like, well, am I not eating enough during the week? So then on the weekend, I'm going crazy because, I just wasn't eating enough. And then try to incorporate some of that stuff in during the week and see if that helps your weekend, stuff like that.
For me, it's definitely after school, that period before supper. And I can just start eating and not finish eating. And then it's supper time. So now I need to eat. And that's my hard time.
Yeah. So then start incorporating a snack, that you're having and get that down as a habit. Even if it's something small, you can just make it be an apple on your way home or whatever, you know what I mean? Something little, and see how that fits in. And if it's better, because that's how I am. Dinner is hard for us too. We don't eat the same things for dinner. So sometimes I'm just really
even lunch.
No, we don't eat any of the same things. But like I can do really good breakfast, lunch, but by dinner I'm tired. It depends. Like maybe I've taught a class and I'm just tired. And so, it's really easy to just make a bad choice, not a bad choice, but like not a healthy choice. It's eat a bowl of cereal, and then be like, well, I really want to make this for dinner. And then by the time I get home, I'm too tired. And then I eat a bowl of cereal. And so that's not even enough. And then what it was didn't fill me up. And so then the next morning I'm starving because I didn't eat enough.
Well, and you're loading up on carbs before you go
before
to bed.
Right.
Which isn't what you should be
And
doing.
then I wake up and my body's like, let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
But it's quick.
Right.
So again, that's just, planning what you're going to be eating. And
yeah,
there'll be a lot of times where I'm like, all right, are you ready for bed? And she'll be like, I need to eat something.
I do that all the time.
So when that happens, a good choice isn't going to be made.
No, that's not true. Sometimes I make a good choice, or I eat like a peanut butter sandwich, so I know that it's something in a protein shake or whatever. But no, that means that I did not plan well.
Yep.
I waited. I sat down. I should never have sat down right when I get home.
Never sit.
No, I know. So that's that's normal. But think about that and how you can fix the, kind of do that, or like, pack your lunch, but pack something a little extra. So then you're eating the rest of that on your way home.
And that makes sense because I do plan breakfast and lunch and then I fail.
Yeah. Right. Yes, I know. It's not a fail, but yes. You fall short. You end up falling short. So think about that. Maybe that's something to try. A little advice.
We do have a text from Cheeseburger, who's another one of our 10-week challengers. He's been a little under the weather. He's listening. Appreciate you listening. Said missed you guys at the gym. What day was it where it was just Dane?
Just Dane?
Was it
and
Wednesday night?
Cheeseburger? No, Dane didn't.
I thought there was a class that it was just him and the instructor. Oh, Bryce on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. He's Grant Cheeseburger's
Yeah.
been doing it from home though.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's good.
there was Wednesday. It was just Dane, which is another 10-weeker. He's a teenager.
He's like 13.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Dane and Grant kind of have a little friendship going on, and then Dane was all alone with and someone else, but not that's normally there. So yep.
What time did they go?
6 p.m.
6
At
p.m.
Pio.
At Pio. That
Yes.
empty, huh?
Yep.
Sometimes it just depends. It was a holiday week too, but
Friday night.
Friday nights are pretty light.
Yeah, light. Yes.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, light.
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes there's a few. Sometimes there could be 15. Like the last time I taught, there were like 16 people there. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy smokes, this is huge. So
Yep.
just like the mornings are always consistent.
Yeah.
Typically, you're always going to see 20 to 30 people at 5 a.m. You're always going to see 20 to 30 people at 6 a.m. When you get to the night classes,
People come 12:15.
Yeah.
They come earlier. They come to 5. You know, so
earlier.
So I don't want to shop around the classes a little. Not that I'm looking to transfer, but I just want to experience.
it is fun. It's a different, especially if you're used to 5 a.m. Talk to Harrison about it because Harrison started at 6 a.m. He's been coming in the afternoon now, and he was like, "Wow, this is really different because it's not as busy." You know, so it is different. I like both. I like the energy of a big class, but I also kind of like having my own space sometimes too. Where I can spread out a little bit more, and so.
well, you get different instructors.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you come at 4:30, 5:30, you'll have all different instructors that teach at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like all new instructors. Except Nicole and I will teach at those times, but yeah.
I'll avoid those. Like
Yeah.
I try to anyway. No, once,
So-
once you guys are down here at Meadowlane, I'll have to pop over every
Yes.
now and then.
Like
Yeah.
at 9:15 or
12:15.
12:15
Or after work, or yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we're up against our final break here. We'll be right back. I think I want to talk a little Nebraska football
Okay.
and our new head coach when we come back
Uh-huh.
on 93.7.
Okay.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Look, honey, it's a falling star. Let's make a holiday wish.
Yeah, that's a satellite.
Oh, there's another.
No, airplane.
So what are we supposed to wish on?
Let's enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes 2X, 10X, or 20X scratch tickets for a chance to win $1, $5, or $10,000. It's the Holiday Wishes second chance promotion.
Now the one over there has to be a falling star.
Yeah, sorry, bottle rocket fired off by the college kid next door.
Promotion ends January 4th, 2023. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey, Jim, check it out. It's a plane pulling a banner.
Oh, cool. Play Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery, and you could win $1,000 a day for life.
There's another one. That's $365,000 a year.
Look, another one that says $3,650,000 a decade. Maybe we should play.
What's that banner say?
Of course you should play, Jim. Do it now. Whoa. Top prize odds 1 in 30 million.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealership. Can you tell our listeners about it?
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with a great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
It's here, the day you've all been waiting for. Brown Shoe Fit's big Black Friday sale. We're offering 20% off store-wide, including 20% off the sale rack. We got Hey Dudes for 25% off, and Smartwell socks are still buy 3, get 1 free. So come on down to Brown Shoe Fit for our big Black Friday sale all weekend long. Some exclusion may apply. See store for details. Brown Shoe Fit Company on the corner of 66th and Q. You're in Lincoln.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. For November, they have tons of fall seasonals, and you can check out their Oscar Blues, Nebraska Brewing Company, and Broken Bat Brewing Company selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crowler fill system. N Street, your one-stop beverage stop. 1801 Oak Street.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. It's football season, and that means you're tailgating with friends, or if you're like me, yelling at me during Vikings games. Trek CBD has a variety of products to help calm me down during games. So don't scare my dog. But in the rare cases that I yell too much, there's CBD products for him, too, and all other pets. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Trek CBD has it all at 84th Nader. Trek CBD done right.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics, our final segment. We're going to talk a little Husker sports today. And our new coach. Okay, so I have two analogies.
We can't get through a show without analogies.
I don't like class.
I know.
Two analogies. So first, let's take the Nebraska win over Iowa.
I don't really understand where you're going with this one, but I'm listening.
Okay, so versus fitness. So like you're going through, you're working out. We'll just use it as Farrell's, for example. So you're going through 4 or 5 weeks. You're not really seeing any changes on the scale.
Okay.
Just like Nebraska, we're going through all these weeks, but they're not equaling wins, right? But that doesn't mean there wasn't stuff internally happening in the football program. Doesn't mean they weren't getting better, they weren't improving in their tackling and blocking and all those things. Just like when you don't see that number drop on the scale like you like to, that doesn't necessarily mean that things aren't happening internally, like
mentally
or mentally. Right. You just don't see a tangible evidence of it. Like we use the scale.
Well, like Mark said, the difference between weighing himself every day and then doing the in-body,
right.
That's kind of the difference.
Sure. Yeah. Right. So we measure like our fitness journeys, most people, on tangible evidence, which the quickest tangible evidence to see is the number on the scale. Because it's right there, you stand on it, and then you either get your immediate gratification or you're just pissed off, right? And it affects your mental. I mean, it's just what happens. So again,
some more than others.
Kudos to Nebraska for beating Iowa and breaking the curse. It was funny. I think Schaefer had tweeted this isn't really trying to break a curse, it's trying to perform an exorcism.
Yeah.
So the first 3 quarters was breaking the curse. The fourth quarter was like, okay, come on already. Just finally do this.
The atmosphere feels lighter just in general. Just the air is lighter for everything
it just
now.
Feels great.
Yeah, a weight has been lifted off.
Weight's been lifted off. Feels good. Okay, so we also have a new head coach in Matt Rule. I woke up today being more excited than I was yesterday.
Really?
The more I think about it. Yeah. So
I mean, is there really any option for you though at this point? This is only.
Well, you would think so.
This is what you do. The pool of yesterday you dipped a toe in the Kool-Aid, the pool, and today you're down to the knees. It's gonna take a whole year. You're gonna be over your head by the. You gotta slow down.
Well, you get on the if you get on the Twitter,
You're gonna drown in the Kool-Aid pool.
If you get on the
It's a pool now.
if you
it's
get
not
on
even
the
a jug.
Twitterverse,
Right.
I wish more people would be a little more optimistic instead of just so negative all the
For
time.
no reason.
I mean, even just yesterday, I'm kind of going off on a tangent now. So Matt Rule offers a defensive back, right? Makes an offer, first player. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to, Sean Callahan posted this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to read this. I'm like, we don't want to hear unless it's an offensive lineman. Like, and then somebody else like, oh, here come the Twitter coaches. Just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
If you at this point nobody knows. So if you have a choice, why are we choosing to be negative? Why wouldn't we just choose to be positive?
right.
You have a choice at this point.
We were talking about this before the show. Like, oh, here we go, another failed NFL coach. Like, well, who haven't we hired? Right? We've hired somebody with no experience. We've hired a failed NFL coach. We hired a coach that had been coaching college football for 20 years and Mike Riley. Like,
what we haven't
we've
done?
hired a former quarterback. We've hired everybody.
We haven't done the up and coming group of 5 head coach yet.
No. Yes, we did. It was Scott Frost.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. Okay, shoot. Yeah, we did. I think of him as the savior who came home, but he is also the up and coming.
He was the
You're right.
More than one thing can be true at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
2 birds, 1 stone there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of look at Matt Rule like, so the thing I hear is like, oh, he's 47 and 43 as a head coach. He's Mike Riley 2.0.
Which is really unfair. Like I didn't have any whatever. And then you were explaining to me.
Yeah.
Like this is a good analogy.
Right.
This one.
It's just like somebody at 5-week testing who gets on the scale and they gained a pound.
So mean.
I'm irritated. They gained a pound, right? And that's what they're focusing on. When if you look at your body composition, that same person that gained a pound lost 10 pounds of fat, gained muscle, lost 5-6 inches, where they should be static, right? So if you're just looking at win-loss record for our new coach, yes, he's 4 games above 500. However, he took over 2 programs that needed to be rebuilt a little bit, right? So in Baylor, he goes 1-11 his first year. Then he goes 7-6 because something was building internally.
That's huge,
right?
Learning curve. Like that was a huge curve.
And then the third year, he goes 11-2. 2 losses to Oklahoma. They lost in the Big 12 championship game in overtime. Had they won that game, Baylor and our new head coach would be in the college football playoff. But they lost. So he's never beaten a ranked team. I mean, people just need to be happy for once in your life, right? No matter who the head coach was, we all really don't know how it's going to turn out. And I think because we were burned so bad by the last one. Like, again, we moved our family from Iowa to Nebraska. And a part of that was because of the hiring of Scott
There
Frost.
was zero part of that was my decision.
No, it was.
None of my decision
He's
making had
coming
to do
home.
with it.
I'm coming home. It's just, I mean, it was just like the stars were aligning. And here we are still standing
There you go.
in Lincoln. So, no, but anyway, it's just, let's just be happy. Like everybody should be just happy. We beat Iowa just for that reason. Yeah. We should be happy, right?
Nobody knows. You have a choice right now. Why don't we choose to be optimistic?
Yeah, you got to be optimistic. So, but anyway, any final thoughts, Peggy, on anything?
Husker thoughts?
Yeah, Husker thoughts.
Go Big Red.
That's right.
Oh, you have more thoughts than that.
They've been evolving.
Yeah,
it's been good to see. Yeah.
What's the process been?
Well, I was definitely pro Mickey. I'm still pro Mickey, but I'm also reading up on Rule and extremely optimistic.
You're reading the rule book?
I'm reading the rule book.
Yeah.
And one thing I read was that the season that he had with the 7 wins, he was not satisfied because they did not dominate those games. And so his work was still in his mind to dominate the other teams. And so the next year, that's what he did. And so if you want an analogy, it's like things might happen, losing weight or whatever, without me really controlling what I'm doing, where that mindset comes in. But once I get my mindset, then I feel like I'm winning. Like like I'm dominating.
He made progress, but he didn't feel like, yes.
Yes.
And then that next season was was it winning in his mind.
Couple
So,
texts
good.
here. See, we start talking sports and bam,
Ah,
everyone wants to be rolling.
guys, we have a whole year of this.
Bubba said, Jeff,
A
who
whole
is your
year.
number one? Well, again, I moved my family across the state and uprooted
Not
them
across
because
the
I
state.
thought our last head coach was going to be the most
you're-
amazing
you're-
thing ever. So my judgment on coaches is,
Not great.
but I like Dave Aranda. Obviously, I like Mickey as well. But again, regardless of who the coach is, we just don't know.
Nope.
So, I mean, so the best thing that we could do is like what Coach Rule said yesterday on his ESPN appearance. Everybody needs to be moving in the same direction. And he even mentioned the fans, the people in the state of Nebraska. He did. Well, he
I
did,
know.
right?
Oh, get ready.
So we all gotta be, So we don't know what's going to happen. And my whole philosophy has been like, I want to be happy over the next 9 months.
Yeah.
I don't want to be miserable thinking of gloom and doom.
Me
for
either.
9
I
months.
don't want you to be doing that either. But
No,
I have
so-
to be positive the whole time.
And it's kind of exciting having a new coach and new stuff, So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so my number one choice, I once you do a little research on Matt Rule, I think you'll find that he's going to be a great hire. And again, like DP was a tweet. He has some really great tweets. It's like, yes, just because Nebraska, we think we're like the queen of the ball, doesn't mean people want to date us. So it's like, just because we think we're a 10, in reality, we're not a 10. So getting Matt Rule, I think, was really a great hire by Trev Alberts. But we'll see how it plays out. So, but I'm just as excited, and hopefully everybody's excited. So it'll be a fun week on the ticket. I'm glad I won't be in here taking all these texts and phone calls.
But you'll be listening.
But I'll be listening, yes. So you guys have a great week. Ticket will be fired up here later today. They got some shows on, and then starting tomorrow, here we go. Off-season Kool-Aid, baby. Have a good one.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive to fill up on all your beverage needs. For November, they have tons of fall seasonals. You can